Dave Simon and his co-hosts are completing the remaining finishing touches for tonight's episode. If you are watching the replay, you can skip to the 4-minute and 54-second mark to get to Dave's intro. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA from The Authority, the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. That's ringsidereport.net.
Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Welcome to today's broadcast from the Ringside Report Network. We are a viewer and listener-supported creative team. We would really appreciate it if you became a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA, and while there, check out our exclusive merch, including great jiu-jitsu gear from the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. It's ringsidereport.net.
Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to Ringside Report MMA. Tonight on the show, we're previewing UFC Des Moines, Iowa. PFL is live tonight, and Ian Gary with a big win over the weekend.
Let's go!
We are here. We are live, and hey, everybody's here. Fred's here.
Freddie's back from traffic.
What's up, Fred?
Welcome back, bud.
There he is.
Hey, he just slid in there like a ninja, man.
Superstar. Well, he's kind of a ninja, you know? He's the ninja of the crew.
He is, man.
You know?
Freddie is the ninja, man. And,
Right, man.
you know, big shout out to Freddie. Couple of big fights at the ADCC, man. Pictures are out. You look good, man. And, you know, congratulations, bro. That was amazing. Good job. And on to the next one.
Thanks.
Fred is the
That's
man.
it. Come on, Fred.
I mean, I lost.
How was the whole
but
thing?
It was a great experience. Had fun. Loved it. And want to do it again for sure. Thanks.
Tell us about the venue. How was, like, the whole setup and everything? Were they on par? Like, you know? Like, it looked like there was a lot of people there.
It goes by very quick, man. It's nonstop action. And, yeah, it's very well organized, man. It was fun. I enjoyed the whole day, the whole process. And I want to do it again.
What time was your fight at again? Because it was
Super
quite
fight.
late. That was one of the big issues, you know?
I was the last bracket of the day, so I fought around 7 p.m., 6:30 p.m.
Yeah. That's rough
It's late,
because, like,
man.
that's way past your
Yep.
bedtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They got to make these. I don't understand why they make the old man bracket late in the day. They should make the old man bracket early in the day.
I mean, we should be before the kids.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. Old men go first.
You got to get your sleep, man. You didn't get your
Yeah.
nap, and you don't get your early sleep.
So, for those that don't know, I don't think AJ explained exactly what happened. Fred competed at the ADCC Jiu-Jitsu competition a couple weeks ago. And I guess, Fred, you weren't on with us last week, so AJ hadn't had the chance to address it on the air. We talked about you last
Yeah,
week.
we talked about it. But
I came out of it, man, thinking that I need to add some muscle. So actually all week, man, I've been lifting my weights, man. So I'm going to pack some muscle now.
Interesting. Jacked
look,
Fred
I
is
saw.
coming.
Look, I saw the fight, man. You had like you had this twister on the guy, and you were trying to get up.
Electric chair.
And if you would have had that, the electric chair, yeah. If you would have had that, like that hand over the head, I think you would have probably completed it. But you were doing pretty well up to that point, which was a make or break when you go for something like that, right?
Yeah, man. Look, it was a great experience, man. No excuses. He won. He earned it. I only have props to give him, and I hope to get another chance to compete against him or against anybody else, man. I really enjoyed it, so I want to compete again.
Will you do it, bud? Bravo, man.
There you
Bravo.
Congratulations,
Ringside Report,
Fred.
man. Still
Fred
fighting.
going out there. Fighting the good fight. Doing the big things. More importantly, Fred, where did you get that Crush Freezy? Because I've been looking for those and I haven't found them.
Walmart, but
Oh, yeah?
I bought them last year because
Oh,
at the end of the season, Walmart just puts these freezies on sale for like super cheap, and I always buy like a bunch of boxes. I'm kind of addicted to freezies. I always have like 2-3 boxes in advance.
because I don't think they put out the Crush Freezies for the summer yet. I haven't seen them out. I was looking for them.
What?
I didn't want to get the regular
Crush like
ones.
the
I wanted
drink?
to get the Crush ones. They're good.
Hey, is it like the drink? Is it really that?
Yeah.
What the hell?
You haven't seen that?
No, never, man.
You don't go out. I don't know. You're not seeing the things.
No, bro. I
You're
don't.
missing.
I'll
You're
be
missing
honest.
out.
I am, man. AJ is a loner, man. I'm a lone wolf.
Okay.
Keeps me out of
That's
trouble,
nice.
bud. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. Not really.
The last time I got out of the cage, look what happened. I got a kid. That's all I'm saying.
Fred, you gotta save me here. What is happening?
I'm not sure. I
Eddie
didn't
knows.
follow. Sorry. I don't always listen to AJ, and I think it's better that way. Like, semi-listen
Yeah.
to AJ. Everybody take
Yeah.
some, leave some more.
Yeah, take AJ with a grain of salt.
Saying the
Brooklyn
truth, bud.
Lizard, Helium, Johnny North in the chat, Big Cheese,
Johnny.
Bob. There you go. Senator
What's Johnny
score.
saying?
Johnny saying
So
Senator
since I wasn't
score.
here last week, Dave, man, I need to get my WrestleMania off
Ooh.
my chest.
Okay.
And as I
Ooh.
say that, I think I just froze my brain with a freezy. But so yeah,
Tell me.
I wasn't really convinced. You know, when John Cena turned heel, man, I remember telling you, can he pull it off? And you said, yeah. And my original reaction was, yeah. But you know what, man? He didn't really pull it off, man. It wasn't great. And
That's what I said.
the not the UFC, the WWE should have not put him over, man. It should have been Cody Rhodes winning. They should have recognized that this John Cena angle is not working and just make Cody Rhodes a bigger star out of it. Like you banked a lot of money on Cody Rhodes in the last year, and now you just like wasted him on something that's not really working. My 2 cents.
There you go. A man of reason, man. I said the exact same thing, Fred. And you know, like it's not. I'm not like hardcore like Dave or you, but I can tell you this: the kick to the nuts was like so dirty and cheap. It kind of like, to me, it made Cena look like it just lessened him in my eyes. And Cody Rhodes is a big star, and I think you're right. They should have carried that torch
just don't
because
think
that
he's
guy
a good
is
heel.
what wrestling is today. No,
I
he's not a
love
good
heels,
heel.
but I don't think Cena's a good heel.
I don't think he's great either.
Yeah, man. I didn't like the gimmick.
Like,
man.
okay,
it wasn't
so
good.
let's go back. You know, like Hogan, The Rock, man. These guys, they enjoyed being a heel.
Mhm.
Whereas Cena, he's playing like the
Hey, Dave and Johnny,
anti-social heel, where like
if
he's not
I'm
even
being honest,
enjoying being a heel.
I was the first one
So,
in
you
the
know, like,
entire world.
If you're gonna
to say
be a
that
heel, you
Logan
gotta
Paul
be
is
a
something
real one,
special.
man. You gotta
Mark my words.
own
Damn
it,
right.
man. Shut up, AJ.
Shut up,
AJ.
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 Wasn't me, man. Was AI AJ?
Yeah, so like if you're gonna be
But
a
he's right.
heel, you gotta embrace it fully, man. You gotta be like Hollywood Hogan. You gotta be like The Rock that tells the fans like go F yourself and all that, man.
Mhm.
Can't be like just drop the mic,
Yeah.
There you go.
weird face.
They blew
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm not loving the heel Cena persona. It's been, whatever. He hates the fans. It's very basic. It's very kind of paint by numbers, old timey. There's like nothing to it, and you don't really buy it. And it's just like there. There are some elements like the whole run, the build to the match. I didn't love the match. Obviously, I didn't love, but there's parts of this run that I think are interesting. Like he's gonna wrestle Randy Orton at Backlash in St. Louis for the title next week. That's kind of cool. It wrestled so many times over 25 years. It's going to be the last one for the belt in Randy's hometown. It's kind of like a Cena retirement tour, and he's doing it with the belt. I don't know if they needed to turn him heel to do it. I kind of feel like if they just had regular Cena, not heel, just normal Cena with the belt, it would have been fine. I don't think the heel turn was necessary. I think that's the thing. It's just like, why do it now? It's not that great. There was no payoff with The Rock in any kind of way. What was the point? Because to me,
That's what
you
the
can
point
still
was.
have Cena as a babyface going in to face Cody at WrestleMania. There'd be tension. Cena could have won. And then Cena could just be Cena now, doing the last run against Randy and whoever. They don't need to add this other thing of, ooh, Cena's a heel now. They did it to pop the crowd that one night, to get, social media views or whatever they're trying to get. But long term, I don't think it makes a ton of sense. But, as far as Cody Rhodes goes, I'm pretty sure Cody will get the win back. He'll get the win back. He'll beat Cena. He'll take the belt off of him. Because Cena, he already said he's got like 26 dates left. After Backlash, it'll be 25. Who knows? Maybe he'll show up on Raw or SmackDown next week, so they'll be down to 24 after Backlash. So there's only a certain number of dates you have Cena for, and he's telling you that. So you got to figure he's going to lose the belt before he leaves. And there's not that many great candidates to take it from him. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes.
They should have never took the belt off Roman, man. He should still be, like, champion.
I think Roman wanted time off. And I think Cody wanted time off. Like, we haven't seen Cody since WrestleMania. He's taken time off. He's worked very hard. He's been wrestling a lot. His body must be killing him. So, you know, he's tired. He needs time off. You can't have the championship if you're not on TV. So you give it to Cena. You get a little break. I think that's all it is. It's just a vacation for Cody. He'll come back. He'll take the belt back. Or Roman will take it, which would be fine. Roman hasn't held the belt for a little while now. Over a year. They got options. They got lots of options.
Rollins.
None of them are particularly exciting. Like the whole Seth Rollins thing on Raw. I'll break it down with Johnny tomorrow night, but they did a whole thing with Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins this week, and it was just...
He was wearing a $13,000 coat.
Yeah. Yeah, he was wearing a very expensive jacket.
It was ugly, but...
It was kind of cool looking. I kind of liked it. I don't know. I don't mind his fashion. I think his fashion is the best part of him. You know? It's not his wrestling or his talking. He looks cool with his cool clothes, but yeah. Okay. Let me tell you guys about something, okay?
Tell me.
That you
Tell
may
me,
not
bud.
be aware of, okay?
Mhm.
This Saturday, the UFC is in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay?
Potato country, yeah.
First of all, it's very interesting because SmackDown tomorrow night is in Des Moines, Iowa. And then Saturday, the
Ooh.
UFC is doing it. So they're doing back-to-back nights, like a whole TKO thing. Which is interesting. Last week, UFC was in Kansas City on Saturday night. And then this past Monday, I think in the same building, Monday Night Raw was in Kansas City.
I see where you're going
So
at.
they're just like kind of hitting the same towns, following each other. I wonder if it's cheaper for TKO to keep some of the
Probably.
production, the lighting, all that stuff in the same
That's
building.
what I
You know
was
what I
thinking.
mean?
But
I was
also,
thinking the exact same thing.
Okay, I worked for a big company a while back that would rent the Bell Center for their Christmas party, and that is pretty expensive. So if you're getting a 3-day deal, it's probably a better deal than a 1-day deal. Like because it's like $100,000, and it's probably more than that now because that's many years ago. But it was like $100,000 a night. So who knows? You get 3 nights for a little better price or whatever. I could see that happening.
Well,
it
it-
makes sense business-wise.
For
Yeah.
sure. It's all comes down to costs, right? And if they can make more, like, obviously they're representing both brands, it makes total sense. And I was thinking the same thing while you were saying it. I'm like, yeah, it's got to be because of the production, the lighting, the setup. Like, everybody is there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to keep everybody there. Travel expenses, costs, insurance, everything, man. It's a smart move. Plus, it gives a lot more hype to the combat scene in that city. I think it's a great
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. If you're living in
they
Des
should-
Moines, Iowa, it's a hell of a weekend.
And,
Damn
and I
right.
mean, like, both companies now are together. So, like, fully embrace it and go full for it. So, no, I fully understand decisions like that.
Yeah. On the flip side of it, though, from a fan perspective, if you're a fan of both WWE and UFC, right?
You go broke.
Exactly. How do you afford to go to both? To me, you space it out so that your fans have the opportunity to save money for the next show.
I mean, I guess
Yeah,
the tickets,
I think they're
they
too
sell. So,
Yeah, they sell,
As
but I
long
think
as
it's
the
also two
tickets sell.
different demographics.
I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
and I was watching.
you're not gonna get
Go ahead,
I
Fred.
was gonna say I was reading like the ticket prices for SummerSlam, and it's crazy, man. Like these people, they want to bleed us out. Yeah, Dave,
Mhm.
I agree, man. Too expensive.
It's crazy. Well, I'll give you an example. UFC is going to be in Montreal, what, next week? Next weekend? I haven't bought tickets for that.
Yeah.
I haven't bought tickets for that at all. SmackDown's coming to Montreal in August. I have tickets already. For sure.
How much? Like
I like both. I like
Are the
both. I like
prices,
UFC and WWE. WWE is
reasonable?
way more affordable than UFC. Like
Yeah.
the tickets that I have
Guys, I
for
got good
WWE
news.
that cost me, I think, $350 a piece, $360 a piece, right?
Oh my God, that's
Those are
still a
like
lot.
$1,200 tickets though for the UFC in the same seat. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
boys,
it's
I,
still
got some
very
good news, man.
expensive.
Go. AJ.
I'm saying is that I got invited to the VIP lounge for next week's fight at the UFC.
Are you going? That's nice.
Dude, I got invited to the VIP
Good for
lounge,
you.
man.
AJ's
You
going
know,
to a VIP
I'm just saying, I was
lounge.
gonna tell you guys, so I'm trying to get you in there.
I'm good.
You
I
sure?
mean, if you get me VIP with all the food and all, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, I guess if you get me and Fred in there, we would go.
Hey,
Fred and I
let's
would
see what
go.
we can do, man. But so
Okay.
far, like, there's apparently there's supposed to be somebody interesting there, but I don't know who. I just know that I might be hanging with Charles, that's for sure.
Okay.
But there's supposed to be someone else.
King
Apparently,
Charles.
it's like big secret. Yeah, good old Charles. Charles Jourdain.
Lucky.
Cool.
But there's supposed to be someone else, and I just don't know who that mystery guest is. Apparently, it's a mystery guest in Montreal that's coming, like big name. I don't know if he's fighting or whatnot. They said like he's a fighter and this and that, so I don't know if like things are changing. But apparently, it's a big cheese to be in the VIP lounge. Obviously, he's not fighting, but you
AJ's
never know.
bragging over here. He's in some sort of VIP lounge with some mystery celebrities over here.
I don't know who. I know one, but I don't know the other. I
AJ's
gotta
do
part
some
of the
research
secret
to-
society.
We're gonna be sitting at home watching on TV. AJ's sitting in the VIP lounge with the Illuminati over there. What's going on?
Secret society. Want to
Yeah.
keep an eye on me.
That's right.
Listen, man, all I can say is get me some ringside merch because you know that I'm going to go hardcore when I'm there. I can assure you. I'll just keep you posted. I'll go live, man, a few times. I'm telling you. It's going to be, well, first I'm going to try to get you guys in.
All right.
And if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm skeptical about the whole situation. Anything involving you, I'm skeptical about. So
Oh, it's going to
Oh,
be
it's
wild.
Mother's
dude.
Day also next week, man. They chose a bad weekend. man.
What?
yeah,
Damn it. I'm going to get out of this now.
yeah. And I think they haven't sold many tickets to this UFC, so I think if you wait last minute to get your tickets, you'll be able to get in for nothing. They'll be
Yeah, like
giving
Freddie
them away.
said, he'll wait till like prelims and get it for like $5 or something.
Yeah, for real. If you go during the prelims, people are going to be giving these tickets away. There's nothing sold for the UFC in Montreal. Nothing.
Well, it's
You wanna-
look, it's like
You want to
it's
see
not
the
the
map?
greatest card, man.
You know
Let's see
what's
the map
crazy?
again.
They sent me an email. I wonder if I still
What, to
have
tell
this.
us that
They
we're
s-
doing the press now?
No, they sent me an email being like, "Hey, here are some like special ticket prices just for you for the UFC." And I looked and it was like, "Oh, instead of $1,200 for this ticket, we're going to charge you $800." And I was like, "I still don't want to go. What are you talking about? Get out of here." I thought this was an actual deal. It's not a deal.
And you get free popcorn. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what?
For $800, Dave. Think about it.
Unbelievable.
Look, man, there's been a lot. I've been looking at a lot of commentary and online and elsewhere, and like they're saying that this is probably one of the worst cards that the UFC has put out for pay-per-view, and it doesn't look great, man. I was really hoping that there would be a special fight at the last minute.
I'm almost hoping that
Big name.
Ian Gary comes in, man. Give me Ian Gary against Belal instead.
That would
Yeah.
be amazing. I mean, anything's possible, right, Fred?
Isn't he like the backup?
Is he?
I hope so.
Is it? I think it's official. Like he's kind of the backup if anything were to
Although-
happen. But
Ian Gary's fight last week sucked, man.
I know.
He got his
but he's
ass
funny,
kicked.
man.
Pride rules, he loses. If that fight was judged as an entire fight and not round by round, Ian Gary loses that shit last week. That was a bad display of MMA. I hated that fight because it was Ian Gary playing the MMA game, winning the first 3 rounds, just using distance and being careful and not doing much and just staying out of range, just tap and stick and move. And like, it was smart, but it was lame as hell. And then the 4th and 5th round, he kind of ran out of gas, and Carlos Paredes just put it on him and just nearly finished him. But time ran out, and I was like, man, give these guys another round and see what happens. Like, it was just lame. It was lame.
But he fought his fight, Dave, and you know what? Like, it was smart because Paredes, like, you know he's gonna go for the knockout. You know, he had heavy hands. We all knew that, and he fought well. But
Yeah.
I thought it was a smart move by.
But come on, man.
You know,
on damage,
by
on
Machado.
impact, on significant strikes, if you're calling this as a whole fight, if you watch this fight without rounds and you go, who won? You know? It's the guy whooping ass at the end. I hate when that happens with MMA. When it's like you play the game and the guy that won, but like only won because he kind of gamed the system a little bit. Like, it was smart, but it was just like not cool.
Yeah, but if you look at like total strike count and whatnot, you got like
Gary,
259
1, 2,
for
3.
Machado Gary to 132. I mean, Gary, and he got 4
Wait, what was the
takedowns.
total?
I mean, he played a
what was
full,
the total?
out of 259 total strikes was 100 and
seem right.
126 significant strikes. So the thing is that I thought he fought pretty well. I expected Paredes to come out and be a little bit hungrier in the first round, second round, but Machado played a really smart fight. And he showed everything, even his takedowns, man. He got 4 takedowns, this guy. He tried 19 times, man. 19 attempts.
Yeah.
And Carlos did absolutely zero.
Those takedowns were weak as hell, man. Those takedowns
doesn't matter.
went
He still went for
nowhere.
19.
He just did it to do them.
But bro, he still
just
got them, and
enjoying
that's what
them.
counts.
I'm just enjoying
they
like
count.
his delusion because, man, the guy really believes in himself and the way he talks and all. He's funny, man. He's becoming a character, man. I like Ian Gary. I didn't
Yo.
like him at the
Yeah, I'm
beginning,
starting
but
to like
now
him too, man.
I like the
I'm down with
UFC director I was watching that fight last week, okay? And the crowd's like cheering for Paredes. They boo Ian
That was
Gary.
funny.
They show Ian Gary. The camera's on Gary. Boo! And then you boo! And then they go to his wife, and you're like, oh, that's why they're booing. Boo! So good. It was so good. The director was
bad.
like,
It's so
hey, guys,
bad.
there's his wife. That's why you're booing, because of the whole thing, and everybody thinks he's a cuck of some sort, and they're making fun of him.
and
There's a
that's
whole
why
thing
you see
going on there.
his beef with Buckley now. We need that to happen, man, because we want to see Buck versus Cuck.
Buck versus cuck. Buck, if you cuck.
Somebody's gonna have a sore throat.
Wow. Okay, but
wait,
I
thing
didn't
is
like. He
if
is
Buckley-
the backup, by the way. He's the backup to the Belal Muhammad, Jack Della fight. Ian Machado Gary.
and the thing is, Ian is always ready, sitting in his chair to come in if somebody pulls out.
Oh,
What happened? Oh, I just got it. Good one.
did you come up with that? That's crazy. Whew. Wow, that's a good one. God bless. That is disgusting. Jack Della is going to fight Belal Muhammad next week for the UFC, and look how many tickets are still available. The blue are the available sections, so nothing is sold out.
Whoa, hold on a sec. The dark blue or the light blue here?
The light blue is resale. The dark blue is like from the box office, buy them now. I think they lowered
think
They're
ticket
available,
prices.
the dark blue?
I counted
man.
like 13 sections that had like over 100 tickets available. So there's a lot of tickets available.
Let's see, how much are these? $1,000 bucks. This is a
went down from
$1,200 ticket
3,000.
over here. Look at this, just
It went
down
down,
here.
Dave. Come on, man. It's
What?
a steal.
What do you
It
mean
went down
it's a
from
steal?
3,000.
Are you insane?
Weren't they like $3,000 at one point?
Here, $800 here in the Reds, kind of back of the Reds. Last row of the Reds, $800. That's not a good deal. Hey, you want to sit
Remember the
third
days
row on
of-
the floor? That's $5,000 for you, baby. Plus all the stuff that they charge you, the extra things. By the way, these are all available tickets. All the blue ones are available. All the pink ones are official resale, which is like, I don't know what that means.
And if
it's
you
gonna
go on
be,
StubHub, there's a lot of them also. And if you go on
Yeah.
Vivid Seats and all that, there's a lot of tickets
Oh, it's
available.
the scalpers out front. They,
I mean,
Freddie, like, you know,
The resale market is whatever. The fact that these are all unsold tickets, not by resale, not
good.
by anybody. These are unsold tickets
yeah,
that will be
it's like a scalper's
empty.
nightmare right here. This fight, and you know
Yeah,
what? That's
and
the
like
biggest problem because a lot of people had the hype that it's coming back to Montreal and scalpers. I know for a fact that there was a lot of buying of tickets because
Bad
everybody
move.
thought it was going to be a sellout. So like Fred said earlier, like he's not joking. He might be able to pick up a ticket for like, just here's a ticket, give me whatever you have, $5, $10, $20, because there's too much available seating. But everybody expected this to be a sellout. A lot of the scalpers.
They got to look at
I
the
didn't
card.
expect it to be a sellout.
Here, let's just compare for a
well-
second. I just want to compare something for you. This is the UFC next week. This is SmackDown in August. I mean, all these sections here sold out. You know why? Because they haven't opened up. They didn't open up all of this, and they didn't open up these until later, until they sold out all of this down here. They don't open up this part. They open up the Bell Center as they sell tickets. They haven't opened up anything in the 400 level because, like, you can't buy tickets up in the upper deck now. It's not that they're sold out.
Why?
It's that they haven't opened them. No seats available. Because they only open them up when the stuff lower that's going to be on camera is sold.
Is full, which makes sense. Maybe that's what the UFC needs to do, man.
Of course,
Like,
that's what they need to
works-
do, but that's not how they do business for some reason. They opened up all the
Yeah.
upper up because the UFC, here's the problem. The UFC charges so damn much for their tickets. Like here's a cheap seat for SmackDown. This is like a resale. Oh no, this is official. How much is this? Oh, but it's like first row in the area. Why won't they let me get to it? It's like expensive. It's like $200 to sit way up here, right?
How much?
$197.
I can't see the price, but it's not bad. Okay,
Don't worry, it's
what's the?
197,
Yeah,
but you're
197.
way up. Like you're
Yeah,
it's not
nosebleeds.
great. Yeah. But
And UFC at that same range, how much?
UFC
I'm
same
curious.
place. UFC way up there, right?
Right, same area,
Same place.
section?
197 for SmackDown. Over here for the UFC, it's 494.
See, there, I'm telling you, that's everybody thought
problem.
this was going to be sold out.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. WWE's way more affordable than the UFC. Like tickets around here for WWE were like $350. Here they're $1,200 for the UFC. It's a big difference.
Johnny's
So-
got a point there. Johnny's right. They might not come back for another decade based on this like
Well,
they
bust.
might
If
never
things don't
come
pick
back
up,
now.
man, it's over.
If this is what they do when they come here, who cares if they come back? If they give you a shitty card with overpriced tickets, who cares? I don't want to go to this. I don't want to go to any show that they
Okay.
offer us. If it's this, if it's
So-
$1,200 to watch Belal Muhammad, fucking
Yeah.
miss me on that.
They should have went to Laval, Johnny. I don't know if you agree with me, but they should have went to Laval.
Yeah, well,
They got to get out from the downtown core, and the
So,
arena's
Dave,
too big. You got to get
say
to Laval.
Shitty card, and you're right.
Well-
Like it's not a great card. But I was thinking back, like of other events, and like they gave us Anderson Silva versus Talis Latis. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's Anderson
Mhm.
Silva,
Yeah.
But Thales Slate is also it's there.
Yeah,
man.
but
so
bro,
like
that was peak Anderson Silva. They gave us
I
an
think-
Anderson Silva fight in his prime. Who are they giving us now?
you're right.
Belal
but I
Muhammad is
also
not
think,
Anderson
like,
Silva.
it was a different scene back then in Montreal. Like because that was just like the second time they came to Montreal. Also, like George was such a big star that there was some carry from that. You know, like the fact that George was such a big star, people followed MMA more.
Yeah.
And if we're honest, in Montreal right now, MMA is not at the greatest level. Like it's seen some better days, like as far as fandom.
Yeah, but not for nothing, Fred. On that card with Anderson Silva and Thales Leites, we also had Shogun Hua versus Chuck Liddell.
Yep.
Give me another fight on this pay-per-view that's similar to that. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Like this card does not have star power.
No, I mean
Belal
the only
is not
thing
a
that
star.
You cannot
you
compare.
got-
Maddalena either.
You can't
got
compare
Jose
UFC
Aldo.
97 to UFC 315. UFC 97 had Anderson Silva, Shogun Hua, and Chuck Liddell. UFC 315 has Jack Della, Jose Aldo, and
Benoit
Belal
Saint-Denis.
Muhammad.
And like,
I mean, like-
97 had Czech Congo. Czech Congo's a bigger star than Manon Fiorot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. I mean, Manon Fiorot is like, look.
I mean,
that's-
Valentina's cool. I like Valentina. It's cool that she's fighting here. It's something.
Yeah,
You know?
but yeah, it's missing.
Dana
a
needs
little
to
bit
give
more
some tickets
pizzazz.
back. Remember the days of Dana tweeting tickets and people running all over the streets and
Yeah.
all?
He doesn't do
Dana
that
needs to
anymore.
do that.
What happened
No,
to that?
I think he might have. Like I remember a couple of times where like it was close to having some casualties because people just run through the streets of any big city, whether it was Toronto or Montreal. People just start running like crazy and crossing street.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little dangerous.
But what's going to happen for the UFC next week is they're going to move everybody down. So if you bought a ticket in the upper deck, in the upper level, you're going to be moved to the lower bowl. If you bought a $500 ticket to sit in the 400 level, you're going to be given a $1,200 ticket, and you're going to sit in the 100 level so that they could fill that up. They're going to tarp off the upper decks, and they're going to fill the lower bowl, which is exactly what they did the last time they came here with Demetrius Johnson, and they sold 8,000 tickets for UFC 186 10 years ago. That's exactly what they did last time they were here. I was there. Fred, you know this. You remember. All these
'cause,
seats, 300 level, right? All the 300, the 400 level, all these up here. If you bought a ticket here, they shut those sections down, and they just move you to the lower bowl. This area down here will be full of people that paid way less than what they're charging, because these seats, they don't want them empty because that looks terrible on camera. So if you bought like a $500 ticket, you'll get a $1,000 ticket and you'll get moved down. That's how they're going to do it. They're just going to tarp off the sections. They're going to have big black tarps over the 300, probably the 200 level too, and just fill the 100 level in the lower bowl, just the reds in the Bell Center. And that's how they'll make it look decent. But Dana White, that press conference is going to be real interesting if he even makes a trip, because he's not going to be out there saying the gate was da-da-da, we broke records. He's not going to be saying any record unless if Dana White says that they have broken attendance like gate record for the UFC in Montreal, they are seriously charging way too much for tickets. Like, it's crazy.
I'm wondering
Yeah, I
if
think
we're gonna have any woke media going after Dana. Like, so Joe Rogan said that he'd rather go to Russia or some things like that. Like, are people gonna harass Dana? I bet
Yeah.
somebody does. Somebody does.
Maybe. Probably.
Of course,
I
man.
mean,
Canada. What do you expect, man?
yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be there. If I'm there, I'll go live and I'll start showing you the tarps and everything else, man. Like,
Show
you
us
know,
all the tarps.
I'm
AJ.
kind of all the tarps, man. All the advertisement. I'm gonna put a big ringsidereport.net up there if I have a chance. But I'm gonna tell you this. It's a shame, man. Like, you know, I'm embarrassed because, like, you know, we broke records here in Montreal when George was fighting and whatnot.
Well,
And
yeah.
it's a huge we have a huge MMA market here in Quebec. Huge. Listen, we get good crowds for jiu-jitsu. We do, Dave. The difference is this, is that most people can't afford tickets. Most people are not making like enough money to drop $400
Yeah.
for a nosebleed section. That's the
MMA
problem.
fans
You
are
gotta
not.
make-
No, we're not
They
spending
don't
that
have,
kind
like,
of money.
Yeah,
Well,
Like, I mean-
anybody's not going to spend it. Come on, Dave.
like
Like,
$400
even
or
going to the Canadians
$500 to
game.
be in the 400s, and like $1,000
on,
bucks
man.
to be in the reds. That's ridiculous.
I couldn't fathom spending $1,000 to sit in the Reds for anything.
I'm
You know
going
what
to
I
tell
mean?
you something where it's going to
Like,
be
I'm
packed.
not
I'll
doing
tell you
it.
exactly. Dave, I'll tell you exactly where all the places are going to be packed. Every casual sport, every place that's showing the UFC
No,
is going
it
to be
won't
packed
be.
with people watching.
No,
I'm
No,
there. I
people
know. I
won't
know
be.
it's packed. It's going to be packed.
because
know
no
all
one
the
wants to
bars are
see
gonna be
this
packed.
fight. No one cares about this fight,
But
man. No, it's
it
not gonna
doesn't
be
matter just
packed.
because it's
You out of your mind?
going to be packed. The bars
no
are
one
going to be
gives
packed.
a fuck
and I-
about Belal Muhammad,
And people
bro.
go out and spend like $75
remember the
bucks.
name?
They can eat well. They
No.
can drink a pitcher, and they can watch like HD like UFC in Montreal. That's where people go. You know what I'm saying? With $75, you'll have like an awesome night. You're going to be paying
Or they
$400
could go,
for a
or they
nosebleed.
could
Yeah.
go to bed
Come on.
early and wake up for the Sunday and go spend a good day with their mothers for Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too, Fred. You're right. Yeah, Johnny, hockey
Come
games
on,
are full,
come
you
on,
know, but a
AJ,
lot of
man,
people
be
like
honest. This is an awful
there's
card,
a lot
man.
of corporate
terrible
buying
card.
and
It's
selling and
horrible.
gifting.
What
you
was
know?
the number of that Demetrius Johnson card? UFC what?
186.
186. So what was the rest of that card? Because that card was pretty bad. Quinton was on there. Bisbing. So you see, man,
That
this
wasn't a
card-
bad card.
Didn't it have Rampage and Michael Bisping? Bisping fought somebody.
CB Dalloway.
Yeah, and Rampage fought Fabio Maldonado.
Yeah.
John Makadesi was there. I remember. Yeah, okay.
Like it wasn't a great card still. Like,
No,
we
but it
gotta
still had
admit-
Rampage and Michael Bisping. It was
Yeah,
still better than
Rampage.
this. It was
I
better
mean,
than
we
this.
have
Yeah,
Jose
absolutely,
Aldo
man.
this weekend. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
argue that Jose Aldo's a bigger legend than both of these guys who were already pre-finished.
Yeah,
at
and you
that
had
time.
like even on the prelims, if you look at the prelim fight on that, you had Pat Cote against Joe Riggs. You had Chad Laprise, which I really enjoyed at the time. You had Olivier Aubin Mercier. I mean, so you had a lot of local guys that had like a lot of following as well. Like it's a better prelim card than the prelim is actually better than the main card coming into the UFC for 315. In my opinion, here, just looking at what I'm seeing. Alexa
Ugh.
Davis.
Yeah, this pay-per-view is absolute trash.
Well,
it is one of the
it's-
worst
it's
pay-per-views
not
of
like-
the year. No one cares about Belal
yeah.
Muhammad. I don't even think he's going to win Belal Muhammad. I think Jack Della is going to tap him.
Very possible, dude. He's
Interesting.
17-2, and he's got that power to do it. You know, Belal,
Jack
we always
Della.
underestimate him, but he's
He's gonna
dangerous, man.
tap him, you think?
Yeah.
All he's got to do is
I'm
eye
gonna
poke
go
him.
with Belal.
That's it, man.
Did you see Jack Della choke out what's his name? Craig Jones, was it?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Was that crazy
Yeah,
or
I saw
what?
that, but
I sent you a video of that. He choked out Craig
Yeah.
Jones.
yeah.
Was that real?
Unconscious. Yeah. He went to sleep. You think that was fake?
Jesus, that's not a joke. I don't know, man. I'm kind of surprised if that happened. I mean, you know,
I still have Belal.
listen, man. I
Boring
still remember.
50-45.
Yeah, he's so boring. He's
Listen,
the most
I
boring
remember
man.
seeing Dave, but
Kills
anything's
me.
possible. I saw Yoni Sherbatov like throwing Henry Cejudo when he was fighting for his title fight. I mean, anything is possible. I saw it
So-
like there. I mean, it could be real, man. And if he really choked him out, that's pretty impressive.
So who
That's
do you
enough for
think
me to go with him for the win.
Who do you think the 4,000 people that bought a ticket will be cheering for? Because that's about the
Well,
crowd,
if I'm
right?
there,
4,000?
I'm gonna
I don't
probably
know.
yeah,
Probably Jack
oh,
Della.
that's a good one. Maybe. I don't know.
Jack
It depends
Della,
what kind
I'd
of a
say.
crowd's in there.
Maybe, but
Depends
I
what
don't know.
flags are flying, Fred. I don't know.
Whoa.
You know, it depends on the flags.
Whoa.
Are they?
Take it easy.
You know.
We're not getting involved. Let's not.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Yes.
Maybe George will be there.
Yo, by
Well,
the
guess
way,
what?
speaking of George, have you noticed how much George is on the commercials for this pay-per-view? Every time I see a commercial for UFC 315, it's just pictures, it's just video of GSP kicking ass, and I'm like, he's not on this card. If you watch the commercial for UFC 315, you would swear that you're buying tickets for a George St. Pierre fight. Because they show Belal Muhammad like at the end, and you're like, is he fighting George? Who's George fighting on this thing? They show so much George. The pay-per-view is like, UFC's coming back to Quebec. Here's GSP kicking ass in a bunch of ninja poses. And you're like, wow, I love GSP. I can't wait to see him fight. It's going to be sick. I didn't know he was making
He'll be in one of the empty seats at like ringside.
He almost got me. I was
Maybe
like,
he's going to be
George
with
on this
AJ.
card?
You never know.
Kept seeing the commercial. I was like, is George fighting here? That'd be great. He's going to fight Carlos
God, he goes
Condit
false
again.
ads sometimes work, man. He's right.
Thiago Alves.
You know, you
back
get
from
the hype
dead.
going.
Brother.
Listen, I just got a text from one of the VIP luxury things, and all he said was, I don't know if this is real. He just goes, Shama.
Shama.
That's all he said, Shama.
Fred, you have to say Shama for it to work.
Shama.
Shama.
Will he be there?
Will Pereira be
What?
there?
No way.
No.
He just said Shama.
I don't know what that
Are you
means.
serious, man? I don't know, man. He just said,
Shama.
Shama.
could be GSP, but Shama.
Okay. That
Imagine
doesn't
me
mean
with
much to
Shama.
me, AJ. I don't know what you're talking about.
In the VIP lounge, man, that I'm going to be there.
The VIP
You
lounge.
know, the $20,000 VIP lounge, man.
What are you, Montel Vontavious Porter over here with your fucking VIP lounge and your Bobby Lashley? What are you
It's
doing?
like your Chingy
Hey,
singing
man.
Holiday Inn, whatever.
He's laughing,
AJ
but he
has
doesn't know the
clue.
reference at all.
No clue.
At the Holiday Inn, on and a friend. That was terrible. Chingy. Chingy.
Shama.
What happened to Chingy?
I don't know.
DJ, what's up?
So what do you think? Chilling at the Holiday Inn. Fucking Chingy. Chingy, baby.
Hey, do you
Like
guys know a guy
her.
named Booba?
Of course.
No.
You don't know who Booba is, Dave? And you claim to be French, and you claim to be a rap,
I don't claim to
Expert,
be French.
but you don't know.
I never
who
claimed to
Booba
be
is?
French.
Listen, I didn't know who Booba was, but I partied with him a long time ago, and I was telling like some of my coworkers that are in love with Booba, and I'm like, Booba? I said,
Booba.
AJ partied with
I know
Booba,
Booba
man. I
is.
was at his concert. I went with him in his limo, but I had no idea who he was.
I mean,
Back in the
GSP
days, you know, where I
definitely
was
walked
working.
out to some Booba at some point.
Really?
Mm,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
He's
He's like
huge,
a
man.
French rapper. France rapper.
Yeah.
I think
very
I've heard
nice
of him.
guy, by the way.
I think I've heard of him. I don't really know. It's one man. It's not several dudes.
Well,
He's
yeah.
like the 50 Cent of like Europe at one point. You know, he was huge. But I met him back in 2009, bro. It's a long time ago.
Good for
But
you.
he was a
AJ.
super cool guy. Him and his posse, man, they were amazing. They took care of me.
You know what I love about you, AJ. You know, you're all around the world. You're always doing things, but you never name drop. You know, that's beneath you. You'll never name drop. That's not.
Yeah, but
something you do.
I was trying to tell the girls like today. I was like, I had no idea who he was. Like, you know, I took care of
Right
him. I
over
had
his
breakfast with him and his group. Man, it was
Right.
a nice guy.
So UFC is in Des Moines, Iowa this weekend. We should probably get to all of that action.
Semi-decent card, man.
Yeah, they brought back Jeremy Stevens for this one, which
What?
is weird.
Are you serious?
He's 38 years old. He has not had an MMA fight since 2022 when he lost. He was released by the UFC after losing like 5-6 in a row with one no contest. So 6 out of 7 with a no contest, but you know, lost 6. But he had a bare-knuckle boxing match with Eddie Alvarez in January of this year that he won.
Yeah.
Okay? He's, again, 38, has not fought MMA since 2022, and lost 6 of his last 7 in the UFC after being released in 2021. Then he went to the PFL and lost 2 of 3, and then seemed to go away. But now he's back because they're in Des Moines, Iowa, where he is from originally.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're bringing back Jeremy Stephens for this card. For A, I think ticket sales, because he's a local boy and people like it. And B, I think just maybe it'll help the card overall because his name is there in combat sports. He had a win in bare knuckle boxing against Eddie Alvarez this year. People have talked about him. And I think this is a good move by the UFC. This is not a normal move by the UFC to bring back a guy like Jeremy Stephens, right? When do they bring back a guy who hasn't fought in a while, in like years, who's lost a bunch, who isn't a megastar, who's 38? When do they ever do that? They don't. They never have. When they sign new fighters, they sign young fighters with winning records that have promise that are unknown.
I mean, didn't we say recently, like Gunnar, he fought on that European card or something? Like, you know, like they'll bring back guys here and there. Like, I understand.
But Gunnar never got released. Gunnar has always been under contract.
Okay.
Like this is a different deal. They brought him back. They don't usually bring guys back.
Well, they kind of did the same thing with Mason Jones. He was out of the UFC and he ended up coming back, and this is it. Like, you know, so there are 2 comebacks.
Yeah, but Mason Jones, I think, maybe won a couple fights outside of the UFC.
He won. He's on a 4-fight winning streak.
Exactly.
Back, you know?
And he's 30 years old, and he's not really a name, so fine. That's different than what we have here with Jeremy Stephens. And I think it's a change in like thought process and how the UFC is doing business, because they realize what we've realized, which is they have no stars. So even if they're going to bring back guys that are a little older and haven't really fought much and have lost a bunch, at least we know who they are. So when you turn on the TV, you're like, oh, it's Jeremy Stephens. I'll watch his fight.
He's back.
Or when you're going to buy a ticket, you're going to buy a ticket to go see Jeremy Stephens. You know what I mean? I think it's a smart move by the UFC.
We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying, like, you know, like it would be great to see some of the legendary fighters coming back, you know, and if they're like names like Stephens and all of that makes sense. And maybe they've been listening to us because, you know, it would be great to see, I don't know, Vito Belfort come back. I'd be there. I would like love to see him fight regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like names like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if Vitor could pass a drug test, but if you can pass a drug test and you could be somewhat competitive,
I don't care if Vitor can pass a drug test. I rather he doesn't pass a drug test.
Yeah. I want to see him fight.
He's pretty old too. Like even if he's on stuff, like I think if you're over 50, say if you're 50 plus, you should be, and you have fought in the UFC before, you should be allowed to do all the drugs you want and come back. How about that? That seems fair, right? Like, come on. You're over. Vitor is 48 now. So in a couple years, I think we get the return of TRT Vitor. He's allowed to come back. He's super old, but he's on mad steroids. And who knows what else. And he wants to fight. I think that should be allowed. If you're maybe even over 45, let's roll the dice. If you're over 45, you can do steroids and fight in the UFC.
So what
under
you're
45,
saying
you're drug tested.
What you're saying is 100 Vitors on TRT would beat the gorilla.
Okay. Would it? I think 5 TRT Vitors kills a gorilla. I don't think you need 100.
No, a gorilla will knock not all.
You think you'll get a couple
What if you
Vitors?
put? What if you
Yeah,
put like
I think
maybe
even
another
100, like you put 100, Gorilla kills the first 5, and the other 95 are just like, okay, yeah.
Mm. How about like
How about you
100
throw in a
Brock
couple of
Lesnar's?
Tony Fergusons in there?
I think 100 Brock
You know?
Lesnar's gets the job done.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I think 100 Brock Lesnar's definitely kills a gorilla.
Yeah.
100
what
men
if you could
versus
divide
one
it up?
gorilla doesn't seem like a crazy task. I think 100 AJs versus a gorilla is probably all right.
I wouldn't want to go first. AJ wouldn't want to go in first.
I
mean,
think
someone's
75 AJs die, but 25
Like,
AJs.
instead of
75 are gonna
100
die.
AJs, we need to build a roster. So, like we have Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez is definitely in it. We need some heavyweights, So
Yeah.
I need some good grapplers. Brock, Cain, who else?
You got to get
DC.
rockheads. You got to get like a Tony Ferguson,
DC
100
has to be
Tony
in it.
Fergusons.
John Jones.
Give me peak Shane Carwin. Peak steroid
Yeah.
Shane Carwin.
Now, do you send
Randy
them in the
Couture?
first wave? Because, like, imagine
Yeah.
the gorilla kills Brock and Kane, and then we're stuck with, like some lightweights we're stuck sending Marab. I mean,
No,
I love
Marab doesn't get
but
to
I don't
go.
think-
He doesn't get.
Yeah.
Marab doesn't get to be one of the 100. We send Mark Henry and the Big Show after them. We send Braun Breaker.
How
We
about
got to send some
Fedor?
big boys.
You got
need
to
to
send like
send,
Fedor's in there.
The Rock.
I don't think he has the striking power
he's
like
big,
somebody
you
like
know, he's big.
Fedor. Yeah, but
We got to send. I don't know. Big guys. That's what I'm saying. Large.
yeah, but you got to throw in some like guys like that are completely nuts. You got to put in like some of the like 100 Diaz, Nick Diaz is in there. The Tony
no,
Ferguson.
we
You
need
send
some
them out
wrestlers.
first.
We need some wrestlers because we don't want to be on
Yeah.
our back with the gorilla.
Yeah,
And then
because
you got
those
100
Diaz
you get
brothers,
100
man, they're not going
Connors.
to tire out the gorilla with jabs. It's not going to work.
Yeah, but you get 100
He's
Connors
not
to
gonna
go in there
go
talking his
plot a
trash.
gorilla.
I
Imagine
would
Conor
I would
talking
throw
trash to a
100
gorilla?
Conor McGregors at a gorilla just to watch a gorilla kill Conor McGregor 100 times.
It'd be funny, man.
It'd be the best. I would love to see
Who
that.
the fuck is that guy?
Oh no,
Whoop,
what's going
whoop,
on? Ah! And seeing him throw it around. What's happening? Oh no. Top of the morning, gorilla.
With me Lucky Charms.
Who the fuck is that guy? Oh shit. Just gets knocked out. That'd be great.
But it makes you wonder, man. I've been looking at like, the AI recreated like scenarios and that kind of stuff. Sometimes the humans wins, and most of the time the gorillas just like destroy everybody.
Oh, you've been watching people do this? This is a thing that's going
Yeah.
on the internet now. One gorilla versus 100 men who would win, and there are AI videos like showing what would happen. Is this?
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't
People have
watched that. I've
done
just
some
seen
recreations.
people talking about it. Okay, and does the
Like,
gorilla
overall,
lose
man.
sometimes?
No, the gorilla pretty much wins all the time.
I'm telling you, man, gorilla kills 5-6 people. The other 95 are just like,
Easily.
okay, what the
Listen,
fuck
man.
did I get into there?
Have you ever picked up an axe to chop a tree? I've seen
This
it.
is
I've
wh-
seen an axe. Okay, I've seen an axe broken in half by a gorilla. They had it on display. A gorilla took that axe handle and snapped it like a toothpick. So imagine to the human bone of even a Brock Lesnar and
It'd
whatnot.
be worse than D-Day.
Jesus.
Like you'd have all your friends going out to the gorilla, and you see them get fucking mauled and destroyed, and you'd be like PTSD, and then you got to get mauled, man. And nah, man, I'm betting. I think our odds were better on D-Day than against the
You
gorilla.
remember, Freddie, you know what? The only gorilla that would make sense to save the humans would be Coco from the past. He would sign language saying, listen, guys, don't fuck up. Stay back. Remember Coco?
I think we should maybe not fight gorillas. I think that's probably the best bet. I don't know why we're fighting
Probably
gorillas.
a
I like
wise bet.
gorillas. I want to befriend
They're
a
so
gorilla,
beautiful.
not fight it.
The last
Gorillas
time,
are cool. They're my favorite animal by
Who
far.
was it?
They're so cool.
and they're
Go
very
to a
chill,
zoo
man.
there. You see the gorillas. Unbelievable.
Is Gorilla Monsoon on our roster? Peak Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah, peak Gorilla Monsoon. Was
Dave, and you know what the craziest part of all this is? The last time I saw a gorilla, guess who I was with, standing next to? At Granby Zoo. Remember, I even sent you a text. I said, "Hey, look who's here." I'm wearing my Ringside Report shirt.
AJ doesn't
Kevin
want
Owens.
to name drop, but here he goes.
Kevin Owens and AJ looking at a gorilla.
That's a lot of name dropping today, AJ.
So much. It's constant.
What
with
you
this
gonna do,
guy.
man?
VIP. Holiday Inn.
Drama.
He's
I'm
so
not talking
excited
about
with
like the
himself.
show, like the Vegas showgirls. Just throwing that out.
What?
Tiffany, Cinnamon.
I'm not following. I don't think I want to.
Listen,
Cory
man,
Sandhagen's fighting Deiveson Figueiredo in the main event of this thing Saturday night. UFC Des Moines, Iowa. Home of the great Slipknot. AJ, what's your favorite Slipknot
Potatoes.
song?
Slipknot. What is that exactly?
It's okay. Fred doesn't have one
Is
either.
it a
Cory
bowling term?
Sandhagen, Deiveson Figueiredo. Oh, who is going to do the waiting and who is going to do the bleeding in this one, brother? Sandhagen or Figueiredo? What do you guys think? Figueiredo, 37 years old, talking about this fight as maybe a last shot to get a big bantamweight title opportunity, coming off a decision win over a decision loss to Piotr Yan, but before that, he'd won 3 in a row, hoping to bounce back. Taking on the very tough 33-year-old Cory Sandhagen, who's coming off a decision loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, but before that also won 3 in a row. So 2 guys who were on the path to the top got derailed a little bit, looking to right the ship and get back to their winning ways. Right now, odds have Cory Sandhagen. I believe he is the betting favorite. Minus 550. Davison Figueiredo plus 380.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a
that
little
makes
surprised
sense.
it's so steep, but maybe I shouldn't be. I'm definitely picking Sandhagen to win. 4 years difference when you're 33 compared to 37. I think that's a big difference. That makes, especially at 135 pounds. And I saw pictures of Deiveson Figueiredo. He had some injuries during his camp, and he looked very overweight at some point. He's back into looking like himself again, but I don't know, the ballooning up and down. I don't know. I've got Sandhagen. I think he's just more consistent. And I think he wins this fight.
A very technical fighter, man.
Probably by decision. I think he probably gets a decision win here. He wins a lot of his fights by decision. He's got knockout power, but I think he just goes.
If it's going to be a striking game, man, he is striking at range. He has a longer reach. I find he's a much more technical fighter. And Figueiredo, if he comes out and he's he'll throw like heavy power punches and whatnot. But I think Sandhagen can handle that, man. I don't think the volume's gonna overwhelm Sandhagen, and it's gonna be an interesting fight. But I kind of agree with those odds. I think Cory is, a strong favorite in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's younger, man. Like, what more do you want, man? He has like
the odds are a little bit high, maybe, but I think Sandhagen's definitely a top 5 guy in that division, and I don't think Figueiredo is. So I feel, Sandhagen should be winning that fight.
How about the co-main event? Bo Nickal taking on Reinier De Ritter. De Ritter has won 3 in a row, including a submission win over Kevin Holland in the very first round of their fight back in January. De Ritter has looked sharp. Bo Nickal, 29 years old, undefeated in MMA, 7-0 record, beat Paul Craig by decision in his last fight. Not overwhelmingly impressive in his last one, Bo Nickal.
Yeah, but that was supposed to be a complete grappling, like wrestling match, which I was surprised that it went into a striking game, and which even surprised me more that Bo Nickal went toe-to-toe with Craig. You got to give him a lot of credit for that. So it's just showing that he can I thought so. I thought it was going to be all grappling. I thought it was someone was going to get submitted, and I really thought like it was going to be on the mat the whole time, and it wasn't. So Bo Nickal impressed me on that last fight.
Man, come on. Don't use the word impress.
Did, man.
He was not
I was
super
impressed
impressive.
with his striking.
He avoided the ground game of Paul Craig. He didn't want to go to the ground with him. He didn't want to get caught in that triangle. He stood up with him. He won, but it wasn't super impressive.
Look, Bo Nickal has some elite skills when it comes to his wrestling, and he's going to make some people look very bad. But at the same time, I think he has flaws. So it'll be interesting to see his fight here, because his last fight versus Paul Craig, he won, but it was not like, I wouldn't qualify that as an impressive win.
No. And Reinier De Ritter is no joke. I think, though, luckily for Nickal, De Ritter gets a lot of his victories on the ground. He gets a lot of submissions, and if Nickal wants to avoid the ground game, he'll be able to, because it's not like De Ritter's going to be able to out-wrestle and take Nickal down to engage on the ground. Like Nickal's wrestling, like all elite wrestlers, and he is an elite wrestler, Bo Nickal, without a doubt. Yeah, AJ was calling somebody an elite wrestler last week, and I was like, he's not elite. He absolutely sucks. But I think Bryce Mitchell, you were saying he's an elite wrestler, and he's not.
Well, I said he had a good wrestling game, yeah.
No, you said he was elite wrestler. And Bo Nickal is an elite wrestler. He is a top-level, Olympic-level wrestler. So he can dictate where this fight takes place. If he wants it standing, he'll keep it standing. If he wants it on the ground, he'll put it on the ground. And I think with De Ritter, he's going to keep it standing, and it's going to be very similar to Paul Craig. And I think these are just fights where he's working on his striking in MMA. His wrestling is good. He's got to work his striking. For us, watching him work things out and kind of have professional sparring matches out there, not super exciting, but I think he's, finding what his game is going to be, and I think we're going to see him, again, stand up. I think his stand-up will be improved, but I don't think he beats De Ritter with a finish. I think he'll probably go to decision, and it'll be very similar to his last fight. Is what it is. I think it's a work in progress with him.
Look, if he sticks to his wrestling game, I mean, he's going to maul him for all those rounds. There's no doubt about it. And even on the striking, he has the advantage. With cardio, he has that advantage. Like, I was going back and forth on this, but when you look at it overall, like, you weren't impressed with his last fight, but I thought his striking was pretty good, and he can go there. Like, it's, when you look at it, it's newly acquired skills for Bo Nickal, but he did it. And I think, he's, there's a reason why this guy is, a future, well, he's in a sense a star, but I think he'll be a bigger star, as time goes forward. And I think he's going to be able to handle De Ritter, who is actually, like you said, like he has amazing grappling skills, but I have a feeling that this is going to go to the ground and it's going to be like wrestling, that's what's going to win is his wrestling game. He might start off with a bit of striking, but I think he's going to control the mat.
Yeah, I think Ritter, just won't be able to take Nickal. Nickal will just be a little bit more athletic, and he'll win the stand-up fight. That won't be super
exciting. Wrestling cardio, man. It's hard.
I don't think we see a ton of wrestling in this one. Okay. Yeah. How about this? Parlay time. Give me a parlay. What do you got?
I mean, the odds aren't great, man, in many of these fights. So, like, I like Cory Sandhagen, but the odds aren't very good. I'm not putting him on my parlay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a parlay, man. I have Miesha Tate losing. I'm going to go with Yana Santos.
Wow.
And I'm gonna
Miesha Tate's on this card.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm going to parlay that with I'm not sure, man. Santiago Ponzinibbio. Here, try this.
Wow. So Miesha Tate, Yana Santos plus 120, the underdog. Miesha Tate is favored to win. Santiago Ponzinibbio a slight favorite to win his fight over Daniel Rodriguez. Ponzinibbio minus 125. So there's the Team Fred parlay. Very interesting, Fred. Yana Santos plus 120 and Santiago Ponzinibbio minus 125. 20 will get you 79 over at bet99.com. Interesting Team Fred parlay. I don't hate it. I kind of like it. I like that Miesha Tate is fighting this weekend, and she's a favorite.
That's why that's a tough fight, Fred. I'm surprised you went with it because, you know, if Santos keeps it like standing, yeah, she'll probably get the win. But if Miesha Tate, you know, takes her down, like for, you know, in every round, she's just gonna win by decision, just by like, you know, keeping her down on the mat as another fighter. That's a tough one, man. I'm staying away from that one.
I mean, I just
And it's
feel
nice to
Misha's
see Miesha
been
Tate
so
is still there.
inactive.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced she, but yeah.
So
Look,
it's a scary one, though.
Okay.
You gotta live on the edge, man.
You do. Fred's right. I'm going to give you a parlay before AJ just kind of goes on and on and on with his parlay. Because you know how he does. He just kind of goes on and on.
Gotta bring home the win, man.
On and on. He goes on and on and on.
And on.
I'm going to go.
And on.
I'm going to go with a 3-fight parlay. You know what? No, I'm going with a 2-fight parlay, just like Fred. It's ladies' night.
Ladies.
It's ladies' night, baby. I'm
yeah,
also
you're pretty
going
good with the lady wins.
I'm going with an underdog. I'm going to go with a Canadian first.
On the prelims, I pick every underdog to win.
Here we go. Very similar
That's right.
payout to Fred's parlay, actually. We're going to go with Jillian Robertson, the Canadian, minus 310 over Marina Rodriguez. Marina's been suffering a bunch of losses lately, not looking herself. And Juliana Miller, former Ultimate Fighter winner. Yeah, that's right. She won the Ultimate Fighter. It's Juliana Miller, plus 190 in the opener over Ivana Petrovic. I got Juliana. 20 will get you 76-71. You know Dave likes to bet on ladies named Juliana. They
He
always
likes
pay
the
off.
ladies.
Oh, he likes
Dave
the
loves the
Juliana.
ladies.
Juliana Miller, Juliana Pena. They make money for Team Dave. So let's go with
JJ.
Miller and Robertson. 20 gets you 76. How
Yeah, I
about it?
like that. I like that.
Who doesn't? Ladies' night. What do you got?
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night.
What do you got,
And the
Jabroni?
feeling's right.
Stop
Oh, yes,
singing.
it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night.
I'm done with you. Give me your parlay.
Listen, so I'm surprised nobody went with the Montel Jackson, Daniel Marcos at 17-0, man.
This
like Jackson,
is
the
how
guy's
we
fought like-
do it.
Dun, 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 dun.
You got Montel Jackson.
He's going to lose, but
Montel's
no, man, I'm
gonna
going
lose?
the other way. Montel's going to lose, man. He's got like 4 minutes of fight time in 2.5 years. 4 minutes of fight time in 2.5 years.
Daniel Marcos does?
No,
you're
he's
saying?
no Jackson, man. Montel Jackson.
Oh.
The thing is that he won his last 2 fights, whatever. But 17-0 Daniel Marcos, man. I'm going with him, and he's a plus. I think he's what, a plus 170, somewhere around there.
Something like that.
That's a
Plus
good pick.
160.
Yeah, so that's a good pick to go with.
Okay.
I think Montel is going down, and then I'm going to go with Santiago over Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to stick with Bo Nickal. I think Bo Nickal is going to like smother and win through every round.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be more of a ground fight than a stand-up. And then I'm going to finish the night with Cory Sandhagen. Those are my
Yeah.
picks. It's all about men. It's raining men. Hallelujah.
AJ likes men. There.
Hallelujah.
I like ladies. I like a couple of ladies. AJ likes 4 men. Cory Sandhagen. I'm going with 2 ladies on
Sponsored by
Saturday night.
High Karate.
AJ's going with 4 men. Different life. Cory Sandhagen minus 550. Daniel Marcos plus 160. Santiago Ponzinibbio minus 125. And Bo Nickal minus 340. 20 will get you 143.15 on Saturday night with AJ. 4 men only cost you 143.15, AJ. Good deal for you. There you
Not
go.
bad, yeah.
That's the UFC parlay for AJ this weekend in
I
Des
think that's gonna be a
Moines,
winner,
Iowa.
man.
Lovely Des Moines. And they're doing Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3. Do you see that?
What?
Yeah.
When?
They are fighting again. They have fought twice, and this will be
Poirier's
the
retirement
third.
fight.
Yeah, this is going to be his last one, right? Is the BMF title on the line? I think so.
I think so.
July 19th, UFC 318. They have announced that. That's official. UFC 318, they made a fight official, but I don't think they've made anything official for UFC 317, which is weird.
But I think isn't that the one where
Oh,
they
no.
want to do the Chama and Ankalaev rematch? Or
Maybe. Or you mean, yeah. Chama Ankalaev. Pantoja Kaikara France, apparently, for the flyweight championship is official for UFC 317, but there's no way that's the main event. They need something bigger for that. So it will be Holloway and Poirier in Poirier's retirement fight for the BMF title in the end of July, UFC 318. Also, Kamaru Usman got his next fight announced. We haven't seen the former welterweight champion since 2023 when he fought Khamzat Chimaev in a losing decision. Usman back against Joaquin Buckley, 2 years away, comes back. He'll headline UFC Atlanta on June 14th, so that's next month.
So we all are pulling for Buckley because we want Buck versus Cuck after. And if Buckley loses, he probably doesn't make a lot of sense for Ian Gary.
No, he'd have to beat Ian Gary to get that fight. But I'm kind of pulling for Kamaru Usman because I'd like to see him still, relevant. 37 years old. It's coming towards the end, but he was a great champion. I'd like to see him get another win.
Yep.
So there it is. And that is about everything. I'll be back tomorrow night with Johnny North to talk about professional wrestling. A lot of pro wrestling to talk about, and we'll get to it all tomorrow. Shout out to Antoinette, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. I see you
watching
in the chat.
Leafs.
Antoinette,
Go Leafs, go, man.
Go Leafs. I know Johnny's Canadians have been eliminated, so sorry about all the Canadians fans. But I guess we can all get behind our friend Antoinette, who's in Toronto cheering for the Maple Leafs, although I know the Canadians fans are going to have problems cheering for the Maple Leafs because,
Go Leafs.
Listen, man.
It's kind of like if the
Canadian team
Yankees
there.
get eliminated from the playoffs, we don't go start cheering for the Red Sox. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. It's not how things work, but maybe it's different in hockey. I don't know.
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think Johnny's going to go Leafs, man.
Probably not.
Pretty sure of that. Or Angelo as well. There's no way.
But, Johnny must have a preference. Like, who would he prefer win? The Senators
I have a feeling
or the Leafs?
it'd be Edmonton. Edmonton, if that would be his pick,
But if Toronto's in the Stanley Cup Finals against Florida or something, wouldn't you cheer for Toronto at that point?
I mean, fucking Canada hasn't won a cup in 32 years, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We need a cup for Canada.
Even if it's
bad.
Toronto.
It's bad for business. Well, yeah, it's not good for the Canadian sport, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good, man. There's kids walking around at 30 years old that's never seen a cup in Canada. And the same thing for the Montreal Canadiens. You haven't seen a Stanley Cup since 1992, bud. Think about it. Where were you in 1992? Was it 92 or 93? Whatever.
It was 93.
93. So where were you in 1993? Think about it. What have you done from 1993 to 2025, bro? That's the problem.
What
a lot.
I mean,
and
you in 1993, I'm trying to get. You were like a grown man in 1993, right?
Listen, I was with Muscles Marco.
Yeah,
listen,
so
I was
AJ
with Muscles
was
Marco.
in his 20s in 1993, right? Wait, is that the case? You were in your 20s. Oh my god.
Well, listen, I was with Muscles Marco, and we were out
AJ. You know where I was in 1993?
Where?
In the second grade, I think. Second or third grade. I think.
Look at that.
Grade. I think I was in grade 2.
Forum. Listen, Antoinette was actually at the game.
I was 8.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Think about it. She was in the forum, bud. She was watching the game while you were doing like crayons and makeup and whatever the hell you guys did in like that time in grade 2.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. I was I went to school downtown though, and I saw I was driven to school because my elementary school was downtown Montreal, and I saw the complete disaster that the city was in after they won the Stanley Cup, and I was like, why did they riot and smash the whole city after they won? Shouldn't they be happy and not destroy the city?
Well, I was like really not hockey impressed. Fans. I won't go there, Dave, because I was
not
there
impressed.
I'll just tell you, the guys that were doing that shit were not hockey fans. That's right, George. You were probably like with Dave in grade 2. But I'm going to tell you something.
Honestly, like, no disrespect, and this is going to be a very controversial statement, but if the fans act like that after they win, maybe they don't deserve another Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but Dave, let me repeat again. It wasn't hockey fans.
Suck it. Yes, it was.
Well, Georgie, let me tell you something. It wasn't hockey fans again. Real hockey fans, man, were celebrating the love of the game and the fact that the Canadians won. And you got a bunch of boneheads that started smashing into like all kinds of shops because they would have smashed into a shop for whatever reason. So they took advantage of people celebrating because, I'm telling you, Dave, I was there, bud. While you were putting on your Spider-Man pajamas, I was with Muscle Marco.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
I'll be back tomorrow night with Johnny North to talk about professional wrestling.
Ooh, Antoinette got stitches on her neck. She got attacked.
That's terrible. Thank you. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon. Here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again